So it goes without saying that one of the most incredible stories for the Montreal Canadiens this season has been the emergence of Lane Hutson. He's gone out there and done things that no other rookie defenseman has done since Nick Lindstrom, pretty much. He's been outproducing guys like Cale Makar and Kent Hughes, and it has been a joy to watch, especially since there are still a number of games left in the 24-25 regular season. Hutson is already a number one power play quarterbacking D-man. He was one of the most exciting Canadiens prospects ever since he got drafted in the second round in the 2022 draft. When we as Canadiens fans watched Lane Hutson in the NCAA, there was an unrivaled level of excitement that you can say has only really existed the past few years with Canadiens prospects. I'm thinking about Cole Caulfield with the Wisconsin Badgers, Hutson with BU, and heck, you could even say Ivan Demidov in the KHL this year. But ultimately, one of the biggest stories about Lane Hutson is the fact that he had a brother that was eligible to be drafted in the most recent NHL draft, and the Montreal Canadiens said no. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about Cole Hutson out of the Boston University Terriers, the same team, oddly enough, that Lane Hutson ended up playing for in college. Cole Hutson right now is a second-round pick taken by the Washington Capitals in the 2024 draft. 43rd overall, he's 5'10", 165, a left-handed D-man. So, it's easy to see the connection here. Lane is a small-ish left-handed D-man. Cole is a small-ish left-handed D-man. And the crazy part about Cole Hutson's overall profile is his extraordinarily strong season as a freshman with BU. Cole Hutson has 39 points in 34 games played. He also was at the World Juniors for Team USA, where, as an 18-year-old, he scored 11 points in 7 games. He was the number one point producer at the entire World Juniors as an underage player. Double underage player, as a D-man. And when you compare Cole Hutson to Lane Hutson, I mean, the comparison's tight. Lane had a better regular season, Cole had a much better World Junior Championship. And so the question that you may have here, if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, is why the hell did the Habs not draft Cole? They took Lane. They saw that he was a fantastic prospect. They saw his progression. They saw his development, and he was amazing. And the production in their draft years was oddly similar. So why did they not take Cole? Well, leave it to Frank Seravalli to go out there and ask Kent Hughes this directly on the recent edition of the Frankly Speaking podcast. This is Frank Seravalli's new show, and I'm going to leave a link in the description to a video clip of the segment on the Habs subreddit posted by Korean Phones. Because Seravalli goes out there and directly asks Kent Hughes, "Did you think about drafting Cole Hutson?" And Hughes then replies. I went out there and used the AI machine to transcribe the comments here, so Seravalli asks on the program, I have to ask the brother question though. Obviously, Lane's brother, Cole, different player, and then Kent Hughes says yeah, and he has seen a lot of success in the second half of this year. But when you think about the draft process, you had one Hutson, did you think about taking another? Kent Hughes then takes a really segmented amount of time to reply. He says, no, we didn't. We had Cole rated higher than when he went to, if I remember correctly. But I think, it's one thing to have, first of all, you got a size factor combined with a left shot factor for us. Seravalli replies. We've got other puck-moving D in our pool. The Engstrom kid in Laval is a real good puck-moving defenseman, so I think there's a lot of different factors that come into play. But Cole, no. We wouldn't have taken him earlier than where he actually went with one of our 2 picks. Understood, Seravalli says. And with this in mind, Essentially, Hughes, if you listen to the clip, he kind of drags out the sentence a lot. It's a very short paragraph when you read it just word for word, but he does take a lot of time to phrase his thoughts properly before speaking into the microphone. Kind of like the opposite of what I do on this YouTube channel, to be honest. But seriously, Kent Hughes seems to be very calculated in the way that he talks about Cole Hutson, insinuating that the Habs had Cole ranked higher than where the Capitals took him at 43rd overall in the draft, but not high enough to take him over a Michael Hage or, of course, an Ivan Demidov, the two guys the Habs did have access to in the first round of the draft. Obviously, the next pick that Montreal had, the third pick that they had in the 2024 draft, was after number 43, where Cole Hutson was taken by the Washington Capitals, which is kind of nuts when you think about it. Hey, the Capitals are getting that guy. But Montreal didn't have another draft pick until the third round, where they took Atos Koivu, the son of Saku Koivu. So there's already a relations connection that is being built up here by the guys that the Canadiens took in the 2024 NHL Entry Draft. But it's with the Koivus instead of the Hutson'S, unfortunately. You also do have to think about the commentary on positional need. Cole Hutson is lighting the NCAA up on fire. He unfortunately did not produce as much as Lane did as a Draft Plus One player, but he did totally outproduced Lane at the World Juniors. When Lane was 18, he had 48 points in 39 BU games. Cole Hutson has, as we had said, 39 points in 34 games. But at the World Juniors in his first season, Lane only had 4 points in 7 games. Cole was the top producing guy in the tournament. Not the top producing D. Well, he was that, but he was the top producing player in the tournament, period, for points. And now you're seeing him as a bona fide number one on BU as a freshman, a guy who potentially has some of the same skills that his brother Lane does. Who really knows? This is what the Elite Prospects Draft Guide from 2024 said about Cole Hutson. He has the one-on-one game at the point down to a science. A lateral slide, a hesitation move, and he gets past the first layer of defense. He drives down the face-off circle, fakes the shot, and sends the perfect cross-ice pass to a talented shooter sitting inside space on the other flank. It sounds like Lane. That is exactly how Lane plays. Even on the Draft Guide PDF file itself, Elite Prospect says that Cole Hutson plays with shades of Lane Hutson. I mean, it's so obvious here that these guys play such a similar mold, and it works. They're both so smart. So for Kent Hughes to say, yeah, we have other puck-moving D-men on our team. We have Adam Engstrom, for example, and we didn't like Cole enough to take him over Michael Hage or Ivan Demidov. I can understand the second part, but that first part, just saying that you got already enough left-handed D-men that can move the puck, and using Adam Engstrom as an example to articulate that point? I'm sorry, man, but Cole Hutson looks like a guy who's poised to being much more than Adam Engstrom is going to be. It's kind of weird when you think about it because, like, obviously, if you have Lane and Cole, let's assume the Canadiens did draft both of them. You don't put them on the same pairing, right? They're both lefties. They both can play most of their territorial game on that same side. So you'd probably split up the pairings, right? And if you assume that they're both equally good, I mean, this is like Henrik and Daniel Sedin, but just kind of flipped onto the defensive side of things. Maybe not even, because at least those two had different play styles. Lane and Cole seem to play exactly the same way. So for Kent Hughes, obviously, talking about Lane Hutson and how good he has been, that's amazing. But do you think it was a mistake to not take a guy who is almost a carbon copy of his brother over a Michael Hage, for example? I get it. The Habs need centers. Maybe because Lane Hutson is there, you don't need Cole Hutson anymore. But what if you had Lane and Cole together? What if you had a first pairing of Lane Hutson, David Reinbacher, and then Cole Hutson and, I don't know, toss Cayden Goulet onto the right side? Who knows? That sounds dangerous. And, you know, I can't help but wonder what things would have been like. All I'm sitting here and thinking about now is, hey, Washington, y'all guys got yourselves the next coming of John Carlson. I'll tell you that for free. Maybe not same stylistically, because Carlson's obviously a big boy with a booming shot, but Cole Hutson, if he mans the power play in the same way Lane does, ooh boy, maybe Ovechkin can play for a few more years. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about why Kent Hughes did not draft Cole Hutson, and what your thoughts are on his conclusion here. What do you think about the opinions? Do you think it was a wrong move? Do you think they should have drafted him instead? Let me know in the comments what do you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.